do 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 do. Ah, hey. Come to me. Come to me, 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 come to me. Greetings. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Oh yeah. Oh, so some say like somebody know what 1111 portal means. Okay. I be thinking that people don't know what I'm be talking about because I have a whole extraterrestrial experience on this planet. I've never been really a human. So I can see some other star seeds vibing with me. Come on in. If you knew, I'm Khamsin the Oracle. I am the creator, co-creator of NUVERSE Live with my partner. We are artists in every way. We do music, we do poetry, we do courses, we do content, and everything is directed to lift the vibration of the planet, to heal, right? And to help us learn how to express ourselves artistically to transcend trauma. Yeah, come on in. I'm gonna wait a minute. I ain't got my eyeglasses on, y'all, so I cannot see what y'all saying. If you say anything, welcome, greetings to you. I want you to feel something here that you don't feel other places, right? So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all come in for a moment. Let me get in the vibe, because I don't know, you might get a free channel message from me today. Yeah, that might be what we doing over here. Katina, greetings. I'm starting in a minute. I'm just getting in the zone, okay? If y'all got some libations, go bring you some libations so you can practice and see what it is that we do. I'm gonna give y'all a little taste tonight of what we do for this portal. I'm gonna tell you what to expect with this portal, what to do with this energy, and how to get in the vortex, right? Let's just vibe out. You ain't gotta think about shit. And I'm finna show y'all what digital magic really is and what it does. It don't matter where you at, you can transcend your atmosphere. It's a lot of y'all coming in here. Okay, I see. Y'all like, what the hell she finna do? She's just sitting here doing nothing. It's coming, it's coming. Trust me, it's coming. We've been working on some new music too, y'all. For those of you who know who we are, we've been working on new music because we promised that we would do that. So this is one of the tracks that we've been working on. So yeah, just stay tuned. Stay tuned. Okay. Whew. We are here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you. I guess people who are resonating with this vibration. Today is 11/11/22. That's so major. That is a triple portal, right? Triple palindrome. And 11 is the energy of duality. Let's just start there. Okay, so you have a 1 and a 1. And if you have ever seen pictures of certain tarot cards and depictions of ancient knowledge, you would always see twin pillars, right? So 11 is also twin pillars. The Duality is the experience of masculine and feminine, the experience of negative and positive, the experience of the mind and the heart, the experience of female, masculine, again, within one person. So we're learning how to be one person. And for a lot of us, that sounds weird as fuck, because it's like, I've been one person my whole life, but you haven't. Most of us chose to be born into families where we were not one person, where we had to be somebody when we were at school, we had to be somebody else when we were at church, maybe we had to be somebody else when we were with our friends, we had to be somebody else when we went out to the club, right? We had to be someone else when we were around co-workers. So on the old earth, if you didn't know, now you know. This is not the same earth that you have always been on. Unless you're like 3 or 4 years old, this planet has changed. On the old earth, you had to be multiple people to get through and navigate your life safely. If you got bullied, like most starseeds did, well, what was the fucking purpose in that? I got you, okay? Because I'm teaching about duality. So many of us came here, and the agreement was to be bullied. And the experience of bullying actually put us on a course of knowing who we did not want to be, how we did not want to be, right? So you have that experience. Oftentimes you come home and you like, I'm getting picked on at school, I'm getting bullied. If you were 70s, 80s, 90s, or early 2000s babies, we had not really experienced an awakening yet. So most of the time, it was a couple of options that you had. You had the option to just look over it, leave it alone, and just keep getting bullied. You had the option to fight back. You had the option to go to another school. If you had a parent who's like, I'm just going to transfer you to another school, right? These were some of the typical options, right? Because our parents or those who raised us, they didn't really know what to do with that. We came out the womb weird. We came out different. If your parents could have had 15 kids, and I can guarantee you, if you resonate with anything that we be doing, you different than all of them. So it was strange because we did not know who to get advice from. And if, like me, you talk to the principal about it, 9 times out of 10, the principal told you that if you put your hands on them, you're going to get suspended. And I'll never forget the very first time I got the courage to fight back, because even as a kid, I have always been someone who walked in between realms. So almost every house we moved in as a kid, it was spirits there, and I was the only one that was really communicating with them. Strange. And it was no different than when I would go to school. It was something about the house where it was more extreme. But when I would go to school, I could see kids who, you know, maybe had a really rough upbringing. And make sure my labradorite is just helping me to channel y'all. And it's like, I don't want it to get in a space where I'm not going to be third eye activated. Okay. So what happened was, this is a labradorite too, in case anybody is wondering what this is. This is a labradorite crystal. We sell these at our crystal store. So basically, I talked to the principal. The principal's like, there's nothing I can really do about it. If they pick on you, tell the teacher. But then when that would happen, they would want to jump me. So as a kid, I already knew was something off about that. I was just like, what the fuck are we fighting each other for? Did we not just see somebody in our class get beat down by the police? Like, y'all want to jump me? Why the fuck y'all done jumped the police that jumped on the little boy or the girl in our classroom, and we all knew she was pregnant and threw her down on her stomach? You want to jump me? Even as a little bitty kid, none of this shit on the planet made sense to me. So it took a while for me to adapt to planet Earth, right? And because nobody was really talking about indigos and starseeds and rainbow children and crystal children, so it was just like, especially if you grew up in a religious culture, any religious culture, it doesn't matter if it's Christianity, Judaism, or Islam, any of the monotheistic religions, like it was really nothing to tell you how to deal with bullying. So that duality of that experience had a purpose. And the purpose was for you to know that's not who I am, and that's not who I ever want to be. So you was already on some high frequency shit once you realized that. Now, for those of you who was bullies, I'm not saying that you were not put on this planet for a purpose, because your purpose was to be the villain. Your purpose was to be that dark side element to those of us who experienced the opposite, so that we could integrate and become one person. So I hope that explains what I mean about duality on planet Earth, or planet Ki, and the purpose of that. Planet Gaia, right? She used to be Tiamat, and that's a whole other conversation, because Tiamat was destroyed and now it's just the asteroid belt. But I'm not gonna get into the galactic history. I wanna stick with right now, with the people who are resonating right now that are finding me. So you had that experience, and maybe for you too, it was something off about it, and maybe people in your family this was dismissive. So it was kind of like, that ain't no big deal. You just need to hit him back. You just need to push her back. You just need, and then you do it, and then you get suspended. And you like, they've been fucking with me all year. My mama, my daddy, my auntie, my brother told me to just push them back. And then you do it, and now you get suspended. Then you get suspended, and then you go home, and they find out you got suspended. Can somebody please drop in the chat, 9 times out of 10, what happened? What happened when you came home? For anybody who finally defended themselves and got suspended, or the threat of being suspended, or got put in, what was that shit after school where you couldn't go home right after school, and you had to stay after school and sit in class with everybody who was cutting up all of the bad kids and shit? What was that called? I can't remember. It was an after school suspension situation where it was just like one day and you just had to stay after school. What was the name of that? Detention? See, y'all heard my baby. My baby already know. He probably got suspended too. So it was detention. Yes, detention. Y'all remember this shit? Real shit. Yeah. So we got put in detention, right? So I was just like, wait a minute. I thought I was supposed to defend myself, and now I'm in detention. So then what happened when you get home though? Your ass got punished, or you got whooped? Can't anybody let me know whether or not this is resonating with you? Because this is just what it is on this planet. Yep. Is you got an in-school suspension? Oh shit, what was you doing? You must have really wowed out. What happened? I know that's a whole story in that. Yeah, facts. Okay, so peep game. I'm finna show y'all how the matrix works, 3D matrix, how the programming works, right? Okay, so now you in trouble. You in trouble at school. You in trouble at home. And all you was doing was learning how to have boundaries. And learning how to let people know, like, it's not okay for you to do that to me. So if you were afraid to put your hands on people, it was almost like you were considered to be weak. But when you did, you got in trouble. So right there, we already had the foundation and the conditioning and the molding to have all types of mental and emotional dysregulation issues. So complex PTSD, that shit started early. That wasn't nothing that started when you became an adult, right? Then, as a child, because you are like pure ego, it really is no experience to have the wise mind at that point. So as a child, you like, yo, hold on. So I can't defend myself because I'm going to get suspended. Then I'm going to get punished or whooped. But then if I let them keep picking on me, it's going to get worse. That shit is confusing. So then you go to the uncle or the auntie that's like, you already know they riding for you, right? Okay. I'm just keeping it 1,000 with you. So then they just like, you know what? The next time they fuck with you, you put this rock in this sock, put in your backpack, and you hit their ass, right? That's just one example of many, right? So then you do that, and then you feel bad later. You like, damn, I hit them way harder than I really wasn't trying to hit them that hard. But it was just so much energy repressed down in you, whatever the situation could have been. So the very first time I finally got into a physical altercation, I really did not want to. I literally begged that girl not to fight me. And this particular female was the one that fought anybody that came to the school that was prettier than her, or that got more attention than she did, right? So I was just like, I don't know you. I don't want to fight you. I'm like 10 years old. I'm like, I don't know you like that. And I don't want to fight you. I don't have a reason to fight you because I don't know you. She was just like, you just make sure that you meet me in the bathroom. No, meet me after school. I was like, meet you after school. Like I just told you, I don't know you, don't want to fight you. She was like, so I'm going to fight you. Now, keep in mind, during the period that I was having these experiences, this was the height of the crack epidemic. And we're having a conversation about duality. So with the crack epidemic, the purpose of the crack epidemic was to give the masses of people who had already experienced a lot of post-traumatic slave trauma something to numb them, right? And even though it was numbing them, it was also alchemically causing a lot of other imbalances within the spiritual bodies that they probably didn't even know they had, because most people on the planet think that they only have one body when we have 6 subtle bodies: pain body, your mental body, right? And the astral body, list goes on and on. So okay, now people numb as fuck. And if you coming home and you being raised by people who are numbed out, like you kind of on your own and figuring out how to navigate issues. So this was my situation. And the crack epidemic, to me, this whole Devoke 91 reverse talk, that shit right there, it don't even compare. And I am not being dismissive or belittling anybody who has been impacted by this shit, because it's horrible. We done documentaries after documentaries and metaphysical lectures and breakdowns of the situation. So it is horrible. But what I'm saying is, let's not forget that a lot of us who were born, at least we'll just start with 1980. We didn't got to go back to the 70s, because I don't know what age group y'all in. But I'm a 70s baby. So let's just take it back to there. We went through a lot of shit. So, okay, check this. So now we got the drug, people numbed out, right? So now people who can't get an opportunity because they got suspended in school, because they was getting put in detention, there is really no opportunities for you. Unless you play basketball or football good, it just really wasn't a whole lot of opportunities for you. So now they like, okay, check. Well, this easy money. So all of the pimps in the neighborhood and the dope boys in the neighborhood and the dope girls, that's who I'm going to strive to be, because at least I'll be able to put food on the table, right? This happened to us. This was a massive genocide of the human spirit. So some of those kids who became bullies, that was just the way that they were coping with what the fuck was going on in their neighborhood, even if it wasn't in your house, in their neighborhood. So then on top of that, now there's this war on drugs. But we like, where the hell the drugs came from? So now it's a war on drugs, and then it's a war on thugs, right? So now we're feeling even more helpless. We don't know what to do. We don't know. We like, as children, starseeds on this planet, we didn't like, come on. Am I the only one? Who did you have to talk to? Especially about energy, frequency, vibration. Yeah, you a 70s baby too? Ashe. Okay, I got some old 70s babies in here. Okay. I can guarantee you, though, you ain't had nobody to talk to. 80s babies, 90s babies, what we got up in here? Millennials. I think my generation, they call Generation X, which is just, it could be true. I don't know. I ain't looked into that one. 74, ashe. And fine like wine, baby. That's what I'm talking about. 88, 78, 89. Another 89. We got 2 89 babies. Okay, so see, this shit's relevant. This is relevant. When you was born, it's relevant. It matters. 90s baby. Ashe. Yes, ma'am. 71. Ashe. 89. Look at this shit. Look. So peep game. Peep game. Everybody here right now, even though we all different from different places and had different experiences, we all have a resonant truth that I'm sharing with you right now. How did that happen? How did you get here? See, this is energy. So because of that duality, now we're like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want my kids to be like that. So you can't even take all of the credit for being woke for yourself. You got to give some of the credit for being woke to where it's really due. It was the experiences, the negative experiences. The shit. I got beat up so bad one time, I was scared to go home. Because I was like, if I go home, because some of us grew up in the house where if you went home and you got beat up, your ass would go get beat up again. And then you told to go back to school the next day and you better whoop their ass. And if you don't, I'm going to whoop your ass again. Real shit. Now, I know for some people outside of maybe the cultures where this was the norm, they like, what? But I just want you to know how resilient you are, how special you are, that you had those experiences, and now you're cultivating a new earth, right? Dang, it's a whole lot of, wow, I wasn't expecting the age range to be so broad, but that's dope. You feel me? So this is why 11/11/22, I 100% woke up in another dimension today. And as soon as I opened my eyes, I just began to commune with spirit. And spirit was like, look at your children. Look at your life. Look at you. Look at the way you process information. And I was like, okay, I'm observing. Okay, so what do you give that credit to? And I was like, I'm woke. Shit, I woke up. My soul is awakened. And they was like, no. You need to give credit where credit is due. It was the negative shit that happened to you that created you. And I was like, I can kind of see it. But I didn't want to accept that shit because I kind of felt like universal laws would be like, oh yeah, so that's what she rocking with? Okay, so we gonna send her more of that. Because that's not what I'm on right now, what I'm doing. But they made it so clear to me that today I was like, what's the energy about today? I don't want this from no book. I don't want this from somebody else that I watched. I want to get this shit straight from the Akash. And they was just like, that's what this is about, duality. How do you create a new earth unless you destroy the old you? You can't create a new earth unless you destroy old you. You can't create a new you unless you destroy the old beliefs. And so for a lot of us, what's been happening is we've been two people or more. Being a chameleon is powerful when you have the right tools and you know how to use it. But a lot of us, who are highly empathic, intuitive, whether you know it or not. You are. If you hear, you're a vibrational match for this message. You are. So we came here with a soul contract to have those negative experiences so that we could create a new earth. Now, I'm finna like scramble your brain just for a second a little bit, because it's kind of like my thing. I like to scramble people's brain, right? So that we can get a grasp on some fucking authentic thoughts. You know, not a thought that you ever heard anybody else say, but a thought that you have only thought yourself and you've never heard anybody else speak. That's an authentic thought. That's priceless. I'm rich because my mind can do that. It's not based on external shit, because this shit is nothing but a simulation. It's a hologram. That's it. For us to have this experience, evolve, and learn these lessons. All right, so peep game. That was just one experience, because I know bullying is something everybody here can resonate with, right? And for you little motherfuckers that was the ones bullying, thank you. Gangsta gratitude for you. I mean that shit with all my heart. Because y'all the ones who agreed to be here, to be the duality, right? To be the good to the evil, so that we could realize who we were. So thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to be petty for a moment, and then I'm going to switch back to some spiritual shit. Because pettiness can be spiritual too. Don't get it twisted. Because this world is not black and white. This is my whole point in this message. I'm showing y'all when your third eye is really open, you perceive shit in a way that's so different than anybody else. Right? All right. So once you have those experiences, whatever it was for you, it could be something completely different. All right. But once you sit back and really observe, be honest with yourself. Them breakups, them divorces, all that shit, that duality, the opposite of what you felt like you were worth having, did that not show you how powerful you were? Did it not show you that you had the ability to chuck the motherfucking deuces and be out when you done? Did it not? You might have to do it crying. You might have to be homeless for a little while in between afterwards, but it showed you what you were capable of. You tapped into your power. That's a soul contract. When we come here, we contract. Am I going to be the bully, or am I going to be the one getting bullied? Some of us was like, I'm both. I was both. Anybody in here was both? I would love to know who was both. Set yourself free and just admit that shit. That's what we do in the NUVERSE. Set yourself free and admit it. Was you both? Because I know a lot of y'all was both. Especially like if you got bigger over the sun and some shit, you like, oh man, I already know who I'm gonna get first. But see, you was yup. Okay, you said you wasn't. Yup, you was both. See, that's beauty in that shit. Did you know that? Did you know that about you? Did you know it was beauty in that? See, I tell people, show me your shadows and I show you your superpowers. That's what I do. That's my specialty, right? That's secret sauce that dribbles in everything that I touch, right? So, all right, now fast forward to today. You looking back and you grateful for the duality. You grateful for the dark moments. So it's like you don't have to feel like it means that your value is less because you had those moments. But when you in the middle of it, it really make you question yourself. When you in the middle of it, you be like, damn, I must be unlovable. I done had 3 people break up with me. I done had 2 people divorce me. My relationships don't last that long. My friendships don't last that long. Like maybe some of my friends who used to really be riding and dying for me, now they like against me and won't even answer the phone for me, won't even respond to my text messages unless I'm talking on something that they own. So like that's not unconditional love, right? Like they can't even accept me in whatever form I'm in as I'm going through figuring out who I am, right? So for a lot of us, because we had these major astrological alignments that separated the earth. It's a lot of people that y'all used to talk to every day that you probably ain't heard from in years, and you don't even quite remember what happened. It wasn't no argument, it wasn't no fight. They just not in your life anymore. The soul contracts that we create, even if we are going through a forced incarnation, which is a reincarceration that happens, and we get brain wiped and we don't remember our past lives. Some of us had glimpses in our dreams. Some people, like Mateus, he's on Gaia TV often. Mateus Stefano, I think, something like that. Like, he remembers his past lives, but that's not common, right? So this is a social engineering happening on planet Earth right now to see who's gonna create a new Earth and who's gonna stay on the old Earth. So today when I woke up, hold on, I'm gonna tell y'all about this tea too. Because I know y'all be like, what you drinking on? This is my libations right here. I'm drinking chaga mushroom tea, in case anybody wanted to know. So, and it's actually grown in Siberia. Some natives there do their rituals and ceremonies over the chaga. So yeah, so it helps me so much to tap into the ancestral intelligence and not the artificial. So we don't remember the past lives. We don't remember the soul contract. So you don't know why you be going through shit. And I know a lot of y'all here probably had like material poverty, but now you own a business, or now you're making plans to have your own business. Maybe you're doing real estate. Like, it's so much beauty in it all. So even though you have people that don't associate with you anymore because they're existing within a different paradigm. So two Earths is not like it was going to be like they was going to go through a process of mitosis and then it's like two separate planets side by side. Today what's happening is the two planets are merging like this. They're eclipsing each other, and it's almost like an oscillation that's happening. So the way that you know this is happening, because it happens to be 11/11/22, it's a lot that I could say that I'm not going to say here for a lot of reasons, but there is timeline manipulation, and there is technology to blend parallel realities. When that happens, it distorts and it causes us to have difficulty getting clarity in regards to anything that's spiritual. So on days like this, it may be really difficult for you to make decisions and figure out what to do. Based on the decisions that you make, that determines the paradigm you exist within. So you could be living next door to somebody else, and y'all are having two opposite experiences on the planet, even though that you live right next door to each other. One person could walk out their door and be like, can you believe this? This world has just went to shit. This is not the same world I grew up in, and I don't know what to do. I'm not eating. I'm not, so many different things, right? Because they're reacting to not feeling safe in a world that seems so different. But when you don't know the astrological alignment, when you know nothing of numerology, when you know nothing about your spiritual anatomy, how can you feel safe in a world where there are ancient Atlanteans who reincarnated back here to complete the shit that they was doing before they destroyed us the first time? And this goes all the way back to India and a lot of the nuclear wars that went on in India, right? So for those people, they're going to have a really, really difficult time navigating what's about to come, because there are 9 levels of the underworld and we're just now in the 3rd level. So it is going to be more like a movie day by day. But for people who are doing the work, no matter how you are, because the way that we teach so that we can reach people who may be initiates or non-initiates of any spiritual journey. We study everything and then apply it and see what works. And then we share it. And we tell you details, dates, when to do it, how to get to know yourself, what to focus on in your natal chart. And so when you have that supporting you, you can be like, okay, even though I'm navigating some murky waters right now, because it's Scorpio season, so it's like murky water. Like every day, it's like dark emotional shit coming up. You getting triggered by, like, somebody breathed too hard and you triggered. You just like, this, I can't even. I'm so sick of this shit. What's going on? You breathing way too loud. You know, it's just be real simple stuff, and it's because those of us who have a soul contract to be new earthers, right? We're experiencing the things that we didn't clear when we were children. So whatever conditioning, whatever you went through, you're feeling it. Example. So even though you're feeling that and you're going through some traumas, you might have, we call it depression. But depression is really when I'm tethered to my past and I don't know how to detach in a way that's useful, it's beneficial for me, right? So it shows up as depression. Or if you're experiencing anxiety, it's because I'm tethered to the future. It's not here yet. So I'm anxious about shit that might happen, but it haven't happened. It could happen. And your mind will start to just go over all of the coulds, and it's just you get in this space where you don't know what to do, right? So whether you know none of this stuff or not, you're in your soul contract is all there. So when we have to do business on the planet in the 3D matrix, all of those contracts, and this is why so many people want to go through the process of getting their papers and becoming sovereign, right? That's spiritual too, because everything in this 3D dimension was taken from the spiritual dimension and they reverse engineered it. So in the TV show Stranger Things, it's really true. We're in the upside down world. That's why things are opposite of what they really are. Perfect example. So me and my neighbor, hypothetical, I'm finna show y'all how the two earths show up in your everyday reality. So you got me, you got my neighbor. Oh, thank you. That's cute. I love when y'all be, okay, don't get me started. So you gonna throw me off. No, you're not gonna throw me off. I got this, but thank you. I appreciate you for that. Yeah. Gangsta gratitude. So what happens is I'm already tapped in, right? I got my third eye elixir. I got my dark crystal elixir for the black dot to enhance those capabilities. So I'm tethered to the spirit realm. I have my mushrooms. I have my plants. I have my crystals, my shamanic drums, right? So I have my spiritual artillery ready to go at any point in time. I'm ready to go, right? So this is on a new level. Let's talk about spiritual shit, right? So you still have bullies when you go into your spiritual journey. They just become invisible, right? And they show up in people, the way they look at you, stuff that they say to you, right? And so if you don't know how to clear these things from your quantum field, the field of consciousness around you that's based on thoughts, because thoughts create your feelings. And your feelings oftentimes create your actions. Your actions create your life, your reality, right? And then that reality determines the paradigm you're existing in. So I walk outside and I'm like, they started that shit again. They timeline editing. I can feel it in the air. All right, I already know what to do. I need to stay grounded today, right? I have that supporting me. I'm like, okay, I feel the frequencies. It's a lot of dissonance going on. I'm not with this shit. A lot of negative shit in the news. There's a lot of negative shit popping up on my feed. Listen to the word, feed. What is it feeding you? If you watch it, you're feeding whatever they are intending to feed you. So now your perception of reality is altered based on what was in your feed. So now you become the biofeedback of whatever negativity was fed to you. And now you're going to create that in your field of consciousness. And so that becomes a filter. And that filter is how you perceive shit. Stuff might not even be what it really is, but you're misperceiving it because you have the filter that was created by the feelings, that was created by the thoughts. But those thoughts were attached to these invisible parasites that love for us to suffer, right? So this is how perception is manipulated. This is why the pineal gland was like the main target to calcify. It's just like, it's crazy. And in ancient Kemet, they knew that this time was coming. So they made sure that they was teaching us with the hieroglyphic, with the writings. I mean, they even fucking burnt up the whole library of Alexandria because they didn't want us to get the information. But what they failed to realize was, it's in our DNA. That matrilineal DNA, that shit go all the way back to the beginning and beyond. You can't erase that. You can erase books. You can change books. They often, people manipulate, been manipulating. This is not new. CERN ain't new. That's not new, right? All right, so the neighbor, maybe they are religious, or maybe they just, whoa, who did that? Hold up, who did that? Who did that? You got me with that one. Damn, who did that? Who's that? Don't be on no low-key shit. Who? I don't know what that was. But anyway, thank you so much. That was dope. Big pyramid shit. That was dope. All right. So your neighbor, maybe they go to church on Sunday. And maybe the pastor is not sure of spiritual anatomy beyond mind, body, and soul. Right? And that's a very limited perception of reality. Right? But you're a spiritual being trying to navigate a physical world. So you need more than that at some point. But if it's not comfortable for you, or maybe it's not in your soul contract for you to awaken to that level of information in this lifetime, so you're trying to use your Bible, you're trying to use your Quran, you're trying to use your Torah, you're trying to pray, you're trying to pay your tithes, you're trying to pay your offerings, and nothing is changing for you. And you're just like, wow, I don't even know what to do now. So we both step outside at the exact same time. I step outside and I'm fucking excited to have this experience in a 3D matrix with my 5D mindset, and watch how I can shift my mindset and alter the reality that I'm experiencing. They walk outside and the duality, it don't feel like that to them. It feel like hell to them, right? Drive down the street, is shootings, like everybody getting shot. People, road rage just went next level. People just post up on the expressway now and just shoot people driving on the expressway. I know this don't just happen in Memphis, right? So what's happening there? Well, they're having a hellish experience on the exact same planet, but I'm experiencing heaven on the exact same planet because of the tools, the spiritual tools, the knowledge that's being applied, the discipline, the consistency. So even when they're editing our timeline, and whenever that happens, you're going to get new Mandela effects. You might walk in the grocery store and now Fruit Loops is spelled F-R-U-I-T. And you remember fruit, F-R-O-O-T, loops, L-O-O-P-S, and they will have the cereal as the 2 O's in fruit and the cereal as the 2 O's in loops, right? Or you might see a commercial and say Looney Tunes, but tunes is spelled T-U-N-E-S instead of T-O-O-N-S. And you remember tunes because tunes are cartoons, T-O-O-N-S. It be small things like that. Or you walk outside and you see a whole tree that ain't never been on your street before, and you like, yep, they with that shit again. And you just keep going about your business, right? It's not going to affect you the same way. So you see my point in duality? So when there's a palindrome number, a repetition of numbers, especially when it includes 11, because if you really break it down, you have 11, 11, and 22, which is really 4 sets of 11. This is also considered to be Jachin and Boaz, right? So these are like the twin pillars. Now, another massive way for you to be able to tell when this is working, and you use these days to benefit you. Whatever it is you desire to manifest in your life, that's what these days are offering us. This is a portal. So from anybody that have followed me before, or if you knew, I'll just share you a little bit now. But there's no such thing as a problem in my reality, because all problems lead to solutions for me. It ain't not one motherfucking problem ever that it made me be like, I have no solution and I give up. Ever. If you just harness that mindset and be like, no matter what problem pop up, it is not going to break me, because my past proves that I can survive anything I go through. So ain't no problems, right? And once you get to that point, you realize that problems are portals to higher potentials for your experience. Skirt, let me go back. Problems are portals for you to reach your highest potential in this human experience. So when you have that mindset, no matter what happens, you excited. Because you like, thank you. I got a whole new problem now. And all I got to do is tune in with spirit and we're going to be straight. That's exciting. And then to actually apply it and see the outcome, big pyramid shit. Now my solar plexus, my confidence, my second sun, it's like, you got this. You got this. So now you're becoming a time traveler. And life experience is a portal, right? To access alternate realities. So today, I did what I call bending spoons. Bending spoons is when, on a day where I know for sure that they with that shit, right? But on another level, astrologically, we're also like reality surfing from like one experience to the other, because it's really up to us. It is really up to us. I know that very small percent of people, it seems like that they got everything in the bag, but I'm telling you, it's up to us. As long as we change the construct within here. Woo! Damn. Somebody just rained stars down on me, baby. They got portals and shit going on. Y'all, okay. When we focus here, thank you for that. May everything that you send to me return to you. When we focus here, and we focus here, and we put food in here. This is 1, 2, 3, right? Mother, father, solar plexus, right? Sun, third eye, black dot, black sun. That's 3. That's the Trinity. When you align those things and you're putting high frequency things into your temple, into your mind, and nurturing your heart, listening to your heart, you can then change what seemed to be unchangeable. A spoon represents physical matter. But for those of us who study, we know that none of this is really real, but it is at the same time. Everything has a vibration. So even though I can do this and it stops my hand, the simulation makes it feel like my hand is stopping, but through the other side of my hand, that energy continues, right? So that's the whole purpose in the structure of matter, for us to have this experience. All right. So what you do, you silence the mind, because the mind is infected with a virus called WETIKO. And WETIKO is a mind virus. Many indigenous cultures talked about this mind virus. And it is equated to fear. Fear activates the opposite of love within you, which allows you to become a vibrational match for more shit to make you feel fearful. Now, there's no human on this planet that I know of who never feels fear. But what you do when you feel fear determines the outcome of the reality that you experience. So the way that you bend the spoons, the spoon is the mind and physical matter, your reality. Keep in mind in the movie, pun intended, keep in mind the movie Get Out, the spoon was used in the tea to hypnotize, to go into the sunken place. So the spoon is matter, or whatever is showing up in your reality that seems very real to you, and it's spinning you. You're going from one thought to the next, one thought to the next, one thought, and you can't even make a decision because you don't know what to do. You feel like you're spinning and oscillating in different directions, and you feel like, well, I'm afraid because if I make this decision, I might make a mistake again. All of that, right? So that's the representation of the spoons from the movie Matrix and the movie Get Out, right? So as this is happening, I'm gonna give y'all a little freebie because this shit is just infinite over here. I got 4,000 notes with more information like this where you learn to actually become the matrix breaker, right? You become the new earther, creating the new earth, birthing new nations, shifting the paradigm, changing your situation. One thought at a time, aligning with the heart and putting the things in the gut that you need, high frequency. Because remember, the second brain is in the gut. So the reason that they've been feeding us bullshit wasn't just because they get off on watching us eat bullshit. Of course they get off on that. I mean, like I said, they feed on human suffering and pain. But it was to control the mind. So the first thing is work on your diet, right? And we can help you with that. We have chakra camps where we camp out digitally online. And I literally guide you through every day. I'll be there every day when you wake up, and I'm there when you go to sleep, giving you anything that you need to help you through that day, right? But let me digress. So the way that you bend reality, something super simple that you can do, because on days like this, if you are an interdimensional, multidimensional being, and you have not yet fully been able to anchor yourself in what that means and how to use it to make it work for you, the most simplest thing to do is to use the breath. And I know so many people, we done heard this over and over again. I did so many breathing exercises to the point, I think Guru Jagat, Guru Jagat, I miss you so much since you taught us so much. But Guru Jagat, it was one of my favorite ones, which was the pranayama, and it's alternating the nostrils, right? And breathing each nostril alternate. So, okay, digress again. That's just one. I don't want to throw people off. I want to keep it simple. But for now, just go into the breath and make sure that you're breathing into your gut. When you breathe into the gut, you deactivate the mind virus WETIKO. WETIKO for anybody who would like to do research. Okay? So all you have to do is inhale. Listen to the word. Inhale. That's what breath was named on this planet. Just a little confirmation for you. So you inhale, feel the belly. I remember when we was kids, we used to try to make ourselves like we was pregnant. I don't know what was going on with that. We was probably in 3rd grade. But you feel your belly and like make it like you pregnant. And when you exhale, you're gonna exit hell. Exit the simulation, the holographic experience that feels like hell. Exhale means exit hell. So when you exhale, you set the intention to release the things that feel hellish to you, right? And you can, a lot of times 3 breaths is all I need. you will notice that your mind will begin to go quieter and quieter with each breath. The first few breaths, depending on how active your mind is, for those of us who are trauma survivors, and I am guessing that that's everybody here, and even though this is not a black and white world, I would say most of the percentage here, I reframe that, resonate. So the amygdala was hijacked from the traumatic experiences. So you go into fight or flight, freeze or fawn, right? Fawning is being super nice. That's one that people don't talk about a lot, but it's fawning is when you be super nice or a people pleaser, and that's what you did to keep yourself safe. For me, that's what it was. For some of us, the freeze thing worked better. Just shut up, be still, don't say nothing, you won't get in trouble. For some of us, flight. Let me just get away from the situation any way I can, right? Or fight. Some of us who became bullies, it's because of the trauma. And you were stuck in fight mode because you didn't feel safe, especially at home if you didn't feel safe, or school. So you can try that out and see how that works for you. And also, once you do that and the thoughts start to slow down, for the rest of the day, just observe what come up. Separate yourself from having a judgment for whatever comes up in the mind, because that's what WETIKO does to you. It's like an autoimmune disease between the heart and the mind. So the heart will be telling you one thing, the mind will be telling you something completely different. If you are in a state of being in a fight or flight state, then you're going to perceive the thoughts as a threat to you, because I'm telling you, I did this. You like, no, I'm creating my own reality. I am the manifestor of my own reality, right? But the mind is like, you know damn well that you're not going to be able to be in reality. You know that ain't going to work for you. Just because it worked for him or her don't mean it worked for you. The mind will really start talking shit to you. And, and it's not an enemy. The mind is not the enemy. The issue was our mind became our master, and it was only supposed to be our servant. So when you look at slavery, it happens spiritually too, right? And so when the mind is now, what is that one? Thank you. Everything that y'all sent to me, it will return to you. Increase. Thank you for that. So what happens is now a lot of us are having autoimmune issues in our physical body, in our temple. And it's because of the disconnect between the mind and the heart, right? So just get in a place where you just observe it. And you may have a thought, and that thought might be something that makes you second guess whether or not you're going to accomplish a goal that you set. And you can just be like, okay, all right, I heard that thought. All right, I might fail at this. All right, that's a possibility. But success is a possibility too. So in that moment, you can choose which bank you invest in, right? So which thoughts you invest in. Thoughts are like banks. Remember I said thoughts create feelings. That's a bank, right? So you can bank on yourself. And you could be like, well, okay, it's a possibility, but I'm going to put my investment in and I'm going to succeed at this. And if I fail at this, that's cool too. Failing is just a step of success, right? Failing is the preliminary of success. That's all it is. And you begin bending the spoons by detaching the judgment of whatever's coming up in your reality. So I'm going to stop here, because I could do this for 6 hours. When I'm in my element and the spirit and ancestors are talking to me, I can just go and go and go and go and go. Let me see what y'all saying in here. Y'all got a lot to say tonight. What y'all saying? It works. Yes, it works. Who is this? Candy, I'm so glad that worked for you. I'm telling you, I'm not playing with these motherfuckers in this matrix no more. I ain't come here to play. I went through too much shit to be playing. I play a lot though. I'm real playful. But I'm just saying, like when it comes to this, I want people to get outcomes that's beneficial. So I'm so glad that worked for you. That means so much to me. I believe that that's why I agreed to go through so much negative things in my life. The contrast, the duality, so that I can actually feel in my heart when somebody like, thank you, that worked for me. If I ain't never been through shit, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, that's you know, I wouldn't care. If you have never been a squirrel that couldn't find a nut, you would care less. You like, I'm an eagle and I eat whatever the fuck I want whenever I want to. I'm in my predator mode. My eyesight, I'm primed and prepped. I'm in my final form. You're not gonna have compassion for the squirrel, but you will eat that damn squirrel. Better believe it. If it's you or the squirrel to survive, and you a hawk, a falcon, whatever, you go do what you need to do to survive. You know what I'm saying? So nature teaches us so much. If a lot of us would put the books down and study ourselves in nature, we will learn a lot more. And that's what I've been on lately. I'm not reading a lot of books right now, even though I got probably 7 books bookmarked that I go back to on occasion. But I'm disciplining myself to create my own intelligence, ancestral intelligence, connect with them and allow them to teach me just directly through me. I trust that. I know I can trust that. I trust me, right? So that exercise will help you trust yourself. It will help you increase your intuition, and it will help you to be able to bend spoons in the matrix of 3D. Let me see what else y'all saying. Okay. Oh, I've been on here this long. Y'all done let me been on here this long. I'm on here like I ain't got a whole business to run, and the family and husband and children, and we ain't gotta do homeschool tomorrow though. So yeah, I get a free day. Kind of, but not really. Let's see. Yeah, Candy, take that shit and work that shit, baby. I want to see what you can do with it. And play with your reality. You'll be surprised. I could tell y'all something that happened to me today, but I think a lot of y'all probably won't even believe me. Which is beautiful. I love when people don't believe the shit that I say, because I got receipts, baby. Let's see. This is the second night you received this message. What? Oh. Okay, put it in my heart. Thank you. Y'all so amazing. Y'all be hit me like it hit different when it's real unexpected. Thank you. So if this is the second time you got this message, Journeyed Berry, yeah, that's dope. So you got 2 times the same message on 11/11/22. Big pyramid shit right there. Because we are pyramids, right? Energetically. There's one small pyramid right over top of the crown chakra. The crown chakra is the foundation of that pyramid. And then from the physical head down to the body, to the feet, and back across, there's also a pyramid of energy around us at all times. So that's why I say big pyramid shit, because we are rebuilding a new earth as we heal ourselves. That's dope. Every day is bad, but it's gonna get better. Gangsta gratitude, baby. Gangsta gratitude, baby. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Whatever you resonate with, I'm with that shit. Every day might have been bad, but now I understand why I'm experiencing the contrast, so that I can innovate my life and create something beautiful. I'm telling y'all. Because we're in the upside down world, you be trying to fix shit by fixing the external structures, and you don't even realize that it's your energy, it's your mindset, it's the misalignment that's allowing those things to be in your life. The only downside to this journey has been losing people, the connections that I had with people. I miss them, you know, but we on 2 different earths right now. We can't, like, tornadoes and hurricanes don't hang out. They don't go on vacations together, right? Their nature is different. Their purpose is different. That's the power of soul tribes. Soul is thicker than blood. Blood thicker than water, but soul thicker than blood. You feel me? Yes, it's definitely getting better. You here, so you doing something. You doing something effective if you here. Because trust me, I do not get promoted. I don't know why they don't promote me like that. I really be working my ass out. Like me and my twin flame / soulmate, we really do. We've been working our ass out for years, and it's so crazy how the numbers don't reflect that at all. But we in the upside down world, so I don't expect the numbers to reflect the truth. That's like expecting a liar to tell you the truth. This hologram is not gonna tell you the truth about you. It's gonna tell you shit about you that's not even true to your nature, just so you can go within yourself and figure out who you really are. It's the purpose in everything. That's why I said it ain't no problems. It ain't even no bad days. You could delete that from your language, because by changing your language, you can change your reality. Changing your syntax, you change your reality. And this is why most indigenous cultures, the way that they created language was by using pictographs, hieroglyphs, shapes, geometry, sacred geometry, right? So inside of you, inside of us, our DNA is made of fire letters. And if you shine light on those letters encoded within the DNA, it shows a shape, and that shape tells a lot about you and why you're here. You know, so I know Kyrie Irving, and a lot of people have been talking about that, and the Hebrew Israelite thing and all of that. And like, I'm not going to speak on that right now because I'm working on some galactic shit right now, and that's kind of planetary. So it's not my realm that I've really been surfing in. But that's just showing up because of the upgrades and the changes that's happening within us, right? And so there are always going to be people who become the archetypal representation of everything that we talked about tonight. That's duality, right? And for those of us who deal with depression, anxiety, bipolar, BPD, schizophrenia, all of those things, and you could be super successful, like in your business, career. You could be making, like, you making bank, like you great, everything that you need in the physical reality, but you can feel so empty inside, and it's like you don't even know where to start. And like I said, for people who don't know where to start, or for people who it's different for everybody. So like, I don't be hitting people up who I know Christians or Hebrew Israelites or Islam or Buddhists or whatever it is they doing. I don't hit people up and be like, you wrong for believing what you believe in, and if you don't stop believing that, you gonna go to hell. Like, to me, that's so vicious. That's bully shit. That's like, oh my goodness. So you got all the answers, right? Because if you telling me I'm gonna go to hell for sure, are you sure I'm gonna go to hell for this? I'm positive you're gonna definitely go to hell for what you're doing. And so it's so crazy, because it's just like, how do you know for sure? Well, it's because this one book told me that this is true. And I'm like, okay. That book also says that Jesus is going to call forth his followers, and he's going to tell his followers to go and bring the people who have been disobedient to his Father to him, so that you can slay them in the New Testament. How do you feel about that one? Are you full on about that one the way you are about me going to hell? I haven't gotten an answer yet from anybody I had that conversation with. So it's a perfect example of how religion is a social construct that was created to create a hive mind in which the mind virus WETIKO feeds. And if you live every day feeling like a mistake or something that you do that's not considered okay, that's going to lead you to hell, you're going to be in fight or flight. Your parasympathetic nervous system, like, everything is going to be off, right? Because every day you're striving to reach a standard that's impossible for someone born on this planet, experiencing this level of duality. I don't know not one person in this world that could honestly tell me they don't see anything on this planet that represents hell. All the way to the point that when we wake up, awake is what you go to when somebody die, right? We wake up and we say to each other, Good morning. No, morning is not good. I don't know. I don't want to mourn today, and I don't want to go to a wake today. Oh, okay. Well, hello. Wait, no. Hello. No, that's not where I'm going. That's not where we already inhale. You see, that's why the first breath that you take is called inhale. And I don't tell people this. I only give information to people who are open to receive it, because I respect people's choices, especially as adults. Like, it ain't nowhere in the world I'm hitting nobody up and telling them the dangers of religion. There was one point in time that I did, and I would just ask them questions like, are you okay with killing me? Would you kill me? Like, when, you know, Jesus, he's gonna be in the clouds, right? Y'all gonna be dressed in all white. Would you actually go get me and kill me? Be a lot of silence behind that question. So if you're not too sure about that part, how are you so sure about the hell part? So for them, the reality is going to be more like hell than heaven, right? And this is coming from somebody who has had 15 surgeries. I've had organ failure. I've had people cast evil eye energy on me and probably didn't even know they was doing it. Because when we pray against each other, on top of that, we create the hellish experience in our ignorance, right? Because we just don't know. And that's not like a put down. We just don't know. I didn't know any better. I had to cancel every soul contract I created with people that I discipled into religion. I had to go back and be accountable for that shit. Once I knew the truth, I had to be accountable for that shit. And they told me to be fishers of men. And I'm like, why in the hell am I fishing for people? If this is something that resonates with their soul, they will eventually find the path that resonates with them. Why am I? So really what I was doing was manipulating. I was using fear tactics of going to hell, displeasing God, right? That's really what it was. And they'd be like, oh, you're evangelizing. But I'm like, evangelizing, discipleship, whatever you call it, I'm enforcing beliefs onto somebody, and I don't know what's going on with their book of life. I don't know why they're here. I don't know what they're here to do. Like, how dare? That's spiritual arrogance. And that's just part of the journey. That was me. And so when I had to be accountable for that, I met one of the guardians at the threshold on the Lioness Gate portal, which happens on 8/8 of any year. That's another portal day. Super important portal day. When you finish, if I'm new, just go and binge watch our YouTube channel. You can learn more. But we had to be accountable for that, even for our children. Not even asking our children how they felt, you know. A lot of us was forced to be baptized. A lot of us were forced to get circumcisions. Sometimes not even when we was a baby. Talk about pain and trauma, right? A lot of women, clitoris is cut off still today, all across the world. That's hell. That's hell. Like, so when people talk to me about hell, I'm just like, okay. It's just not their time to wake up to the truth of the reality. And that's okay. I don't have a judgment for anybody. Because when you judge other people because you think that you're saving them from hell or saving them from bad things happening to them, what happens is that judgment, it turns on you. So it's like you live by the sword, you die by the sword. That's just what it is. And I was so judgmental towards people, you know, especially like when it came to like sexual shit. I was never really judgmental about that until I became a Hebrew Israelite. But it was just like, whoa, like I was on some real tyrannical shit, and I was spiritually arrogant, you know. And you got to be accountable for that, and you have to clear that from your experience so that you're not trying to build your pyramid on a foundation of sand. It's not going to stand, right? The pyramids of Giza, the pyramids of of the Mayan cultures, the pyramids of Angkor Wat. Have you seen Angkor Wat and the beautiful sacred geometry that they had? Like the sacred geometry prior to the mud flood on the planet. They had free energy, lights everywhere. It was so beautiful, right? All of those things were constructed with ancestral intelligence. And to tell people that what they believe in is not what they should believe in, and we have problems in our own lives that we can't fix, that's the definition of insanity. And you're doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome. So everybody didn't come here to awaken to this level of consciousness in this lifetime, and that's okay. Because if we all awaken at the exact same time, can you imagine how much more chaotic the world would be? Some people can't handle it. Some people cannot handle this information, and that's okay. And I had to learn to not cross those spiritual boundaries with people's souls. So, I don't play with that. If you don't come to me asking, I'm not offering you anything. Because if you think that what you're doing is exactly where you need to be and it's working for you, then I support you in that. Like, do your thing. Make that shit. It wasn't working for me anymore. Right? And I consider myself to have been one of the most dedicated Christians I ever knew. I feel like I have more dedication to religion than a lot of people that was in my circle. And now a lot of those people, we don't even speak to each other because they think that I'm the devil, or they think that I'm evil, or I sold my soul because I use crystals, or I know how to use tarot cards for guidance. But if you truly believe that God created everything, including the devil, and if God saw a purpose in the devil, how do you not see a purpose in the dark, bad experiences in your life? Like, people in religion can't answer these questions. So I had to learn to zip it and honor people's sacred journey, no matter how it appeared to be. And that's the mark of a truly sacred person. So yeah, I had to clear that. And when I did the shamanic meditation, I've done 151 shamanic meditations to date. Each and every time they address something else. So I want to make sure it's nothing I'm forgetting, because let me digress. I see my crown open, and sometimes I lose myself in the information because it's coming in so fast. For those of you who, the breathing exercise that I gave, if you missed it, I'm going to share that one more time. So to slow down the thoughts, slow down the mind, to be able to re-regulate your emotions and just help to tap into your innermost being, which is your higher self, which is the I divinity. It's the polar opposite of identity. Okay? Because if your car got a dent in it, that means that it's flawed, right? It's no longer in its natural state, right? It's wounded, and yeah. So identity, no, I'm not that type of entity. I'm I divinity, right? And this is what we teach you, how to harness and walk in your I divinity. And my identity, just like my ID, I only use it when I need to. But to try to live there as a starseed, highly intuitive empath, and whatever you resonate with being, that's hell. That is a hellish experience. You cannot live on both earths. You got to start choosing which earth, which consciousness, and what kind of person, what kind of reality you want to create. Otherwise, a lot of us are fatigued and exhausted because we're being so many different people to appease so many different sets of people because of our conditioning. We're so afraid to lose people. We're so afraid to be rejected and abandoned by people. And that's just a part of having this human experience, that we thrive in tribes. And we're no longer alive when there has been a divide. And everything in your life will communicate to you that you're always a victim. which will cause you to not connect with your own power. So I want y'all to really think about that. One of my favorite artists, the first time I laid eyes on Aniko, I knew that she was from a similar star system, if not the exact same star system as me. It was immediate. And within her messages, it was so much resonance. This was before her following wasn't even really that big, and like immediately as soon as she started her Patreon, I was there, because I want to support people that I feel are creating a new frequency for us to experience on the planet. I'm huge on that. And one of the things that really stood out was the fact that she wasn't afraid to just be unique. She wasn't afraid to express her message. She wasn't afraid to say, I don't want to be addressed as her or him, they, or just call me by my name, Aniko, you know? Erykah Badu, she was like talking about how calling us names, right? And that we're really God. And I remember way back in college, that resonated so much with me, because that's how I felt. The whole time I've been on this planet, that's how I felt. But getting bullied and going through all those experiences, it made me be like, well, maybe I ain't as powerful of a being as I thought I was, right? So the bending the spoon thing is for you to not allow what's happening to you in your life to cause you to feel like a victim. You're never powerless. You're always powerful. It's just tools that you need to tap into that. And the tools from the age of Pisces, from the old earth, a lot of them are dry-rotted, rusty, and squeaky as hell. And it's just not working. And so many people, I have already seen this, so many people, I don't even want to speak on what's going to happen. I'm not going to speak on that. Thank you. I won't. So, tune into yourself. Breathe. Anchor yourself in your breath. Right? Feel your belly, not your chest. Because when we get angry, what do? Your nose and shit start flaring. And it's just like you fight or flight. So reptilian brain, you ain't gonna be able to process information any other way except through the reptilian brain, because you're in fight or flight. I gotta protect and survive. As long as you're surviving, you don't experience thriving, right? So you feel the belly, you become pregnant with spirit, become pregnant with Ka, become pregnant with Chi, become pregnant with life force. You feel me? Become pregnant with prana. And you fill your belly with that and you hold it in. And with each exhale, I'm exiting whatever hellish experience I'm experiencing. I spent over 85% of my life in a hospital bed, bedridden, oftentimes in ICU, on breathing machines, listening to doctors say, I don't think she's gonna make it this time. Over and over, over and over, on repeat. Shit was on repeat. I knew, I was like, reality is really, really coming for me. That I must be somebody and special. Because if I wasn't, reality wouldn't be coming for me like this. You see how certain celebrities, how like all of a sudden, everybody coming for them. Right? It's something so special in you that it triggers the 3D matrix in anybody who is tethered to the hive mind. That's why they come for you. It's not personal, baby. It's spiritual. You feel me? It's spiritual. And once I began realizing that I wasn't a victim to my circumstances, and, after that last time that I died, and when I did go to hell, and I took a whole tour, and I went through all 9 levels. I knew nothing about the Mayan calendar at the time. I was a Christian. I recorded it and uploaded to YouTube. It's got like probably what, 200,000 views or something. In the hospital, I had tubes hanging out of my neck and a jugular in my neck. I had a portacath in my chest over on this side at the time. It had a blood clot and it got infected from a hospital-acquired staph infection, so they didn't think that I was going to make it. The staph infection ended up moving to my lungs, and because it was a gram-positive and a fungal infection, they only had one medication on the whole planet to treat it, and that medication was one of the worst medications in all clinical trials. A lot of those people did not survive that medication. I was aware of that when they offered it to me, because I read everything, been a nerd. I rock nerd shit all day. I'm so proud of being a nerd. I can't explain to you. I got picked on for that too. Look at me now, right? So I told the doctors, I was like, you know, I don't feel comfortable taking this medication, because in medical school, y'all even got a nickname for this medication. You call it amphoterrible because of how terrible it was on everybody, most everybody in the clinicals and everything. And they were shocked that I even knew that. They was like, "You've been in medical school or something?" I was like, "Well, actually, I'm in school. I was in school to be a nurse until my illness started presenting itself in ways I couldn't complete school, and I became pregnant, and I wanted to be able to become a mother, even though I was like on some whole other Lilith shit. I never wanted to be a mother or a wife. I wanted to come here and do what the fuck I wanted to do. You know, I didn't want to have interruptions. But anyways, that I digress. That's a whole other story. So I was like, they were just like, "Well, if we don't give this to you now, you're gonna be septic." And I'm like, "I'm already septic because my temperature is 103.5, and I had a seizure last night." And they was like, "Okay, yes, that's true." So I was like, "I tell you what, I will try this, but I definitely need y'all to already have the team ready to call them just in case." So I was like, "We'll do that." So they did that. Within 30 minutes of them giving it to me, the platelets in my body dropped from 140,000 to about 10,000. They had never seen it drop that fast. This medication had never been given to someone with sickle cell anemia before for any of the physicians that were overseeing what was going on with me. So it was almost like I was in the dark. They was in the dark, I was in the dark, and we were just swimming in unknown blackness, primordial blackness. Straight abyss type shit, you know? So I could feel myself dying, and my willpower was so strong, and I've been like this ever since I was a kid, and I was just like, but no, I got shit to do, you know? Like, I got shit to do. I'm not dying right now, not today. So they rushed me to the ICU, because when you become septic, like everything inside of your whole body, it no longer is able to process anything, especially oxygen. So I was losing oxygen, so I could feel what was happening inside my brain. As an intuitive and a highly empathic person, you can only imagine the communication that was happening between my mind, body, and soul at the time. And they rushed me to ICU. And so once I got there, and I overheard the conversation, they didn't think I was going to make it again. And so they actually had the resuscitation cart right outside the room. I started telling them what to do to save me. It's crazy. And I was just like, "This is what you need to do." So they listened, because they didn't know what they was going to do. It was, like I said, it was the first time a sickle cell patient had had that medication. And it saved me. And I was just like, 2 weeks after that initial experience, I still have this infection that they don't know how to get rid of, right? And there was a doctor that flew in from Africa to come and see me, because the particular pathogen that I contracted was one that is usually not seen in the States. So all of that went on. In the process of all of that happening, my stepmama died. And so it was a lot, and emotionally, I was just all over the place. So because I dealt with suicidal ideation, you know, at least 10 to 15 years of my life in this incarnation, that was a thought in the back of my mind, but it was no longer an option. You feel me? This is when I really started to see how much power I had. And I was like, nope, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not done. I don't give a fuck how much pain my body in. I don't care how much fluid is in my lungs. I don't care how full my pericardium is of fluid. And, you know, they sticking needles in me, aspirating the fluid from my lungs. They do not put you to sleep for that. That is a pain that I cannot even explain to you. So we went through all of that. And I remember just feeling like, where is this God that I have served? Like, with all my heart, I've done the best that I can. Where it was so many times where I felt abandoned, to where I had to accept the fact that maybe, just maybe, that tool is no longer working for me. And I stopped praying. I stopped praying. I stopped begging. I stopped pleading. Hardest decision I ever had to make. I had to choose, because I couldn't serve both. I could not learn to allow my mind to be my servant instead of my master, as long as I had this other being that I considered to be my master, right? And so laying right there, I decided I'm the creator of my reality. And from this day forward, that's what I'm investing and banking on me. And that's what I did. And here I am. Here I am. And I have a storage unit with all my medical records in it. I think it was 20 boxes. When I requested my medical records, I thought it would probably be a book about this thick. It was 20 boxes. So fast forward, I got pregnant, unexpected, triple high risk, because I was damn near 40. That was tough. I went through it, just believing in me, cultivating my own inner power, learning my spiritual anatomy, learning about my ancestors, learning my origins, where I came from. What do we eat? What do we drink? This is when I started learning about mushrooms. And so the hospital was like, well, that infection that you had, it never went away. It showed up in your blood again. And so they went ahead and drew another set, and it showed up in there as well. And like this, the quicker it grows on a petri dish, like that's almost something that denotes how massive the infection is, right? Showed up like within 12 hours of sending it to the lab. So they were just like, you might have to make a choice, you or the baby. My baby daddy at the time was not there for me. Family, not one of them came to see me. Not this time. Now, they visited me other times, but not this particular time. I told him to give me some time to think about it. And because I still had a lot of Christian beliefs in me, I felt like abortion shouldn't be an option, because I had already had an abortion. And I said I wasn't going to do that again, right? So because the daddy didn't want the baby anyway, it was like no point in even reaching out to him. What do you do when you have 21 physicians and medical staff? None of them know what to do except to tell you to choose you or your baby. I got up and I walked over to the window, and I was just gazing with the moon. It happened to have been a full moon. I laid my hands on my belly, and I told my baby, I was like, I don't fully understand why we're going through this. I promised that I wasn't going to do this again. And I went on a religious shit at the time. I just wanted to do what felt right for my body and me. And this is why I have a fucking problem when people pass laws to tell women what they should do with their body. Got a real problem with that. That shit don't sit right with me. because you don't know nobody's situation. You know what I'm saying? I digress. That's a video for another time. If y'all want to talk about it, we can. I talk about shit like this on my Patreon, just in case you want to know, because I do get put in digital jail often. So my baby, I could feel her. I could feel her strength. And she was like, Mama, don't give up. We can do this. I could hear her talking to me. So I looked to the moon. I said, I've been worshiping a God that I could not see, but I see you, right? And I see you reflecting the light of the sun to guide us through the night, and I'm in my darkest hour. Just lead me. Give me some type of guidance, because I don't pray anymore, right? And so that night, I couldn't sleep at all, because I had a big decision to make. They were going to come back 7 o'clock the next morning to get my decision. The nurse came in there and told me, she said, I don't know if you know, but they have you scheduled to go to surgery at 5 a.m. I was like, why am I going to surgery at 5 a.m.? They said that they will be back at 7 to discuss what we're going to do. She was like, well, they have you scheduled for elective abortion. So don't eat anything else, because it was like right at midnight. Don't eat anything else tonight or drink anything. I said, that's not what I agreed to when I talked to them. She didn't know anything about that conversation. She was just going by what she saw in the dictation notes. So, of course, I felt a way about that. I felt like my right had been taken away from me by people who didn't even know me. So I went walking. I asked the nurse to unhook my IV, and I just walked. I paced the floor probably 4 hours. Pregnant, just huge, big belly, just walking up and down the hall all night long. The nurse was like, Miss Jackson, you need to get some sleep. And I was like, I can't sleep right now, because I didn't know what to do. Like, when they come to get me for surgery, am I to sign out AMA and be like, AMA is like when you sign out and you're basically saying that whatever happens to me is my responsibility and will not be on the hospital or the staff. So that seemed like that was going to be the only decision that I had, and that was the decision that I made. And when I signed that form, they all had a meeting with me. This meeting went on for a whole hour of them trying to convince me to do what they wanted me to do, even though they didn't have an answer for how to help either of us, because they still didn't know what they could give me, because everything else they had given me, I had a terrible reaction or ended up in ICU. I had to get a pericardial window put in my heart because of all of the fluid in my pericardium. My lungs was severely scarred from all of this. So, you know, it was just really crazy. And so I was like, I told him, I was like, give me to lunchtime, right? Just give me to lunchtime. Because they were just like, don't sign out AMA. This is too dangerous. Like, we don't know what will happen to you if you just leave here now. Like, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Are you going to a different hospital? Or are you going home? I'm like, I'm going home. Y'all can't help me. And y'all making decisions without talking to me about it, but telling me you're going to do something else and doing something different. Like, that's some real clown shit. No, I'm going home. They was like, but you could die. Like, with what we're looking at based on this, you and the baby could die. I was like, how fast do you think it'd happen? They was like, oh, so this is a joke to you? I'm like, no, it's not a joke. I'm serious. Like, you're talking about me dying and the baby dying. Like, we're like a week. They was like, no, you may have days, because the baby heart rate and oxygen level is severely low. So I had them put a monitor on me where I could watch the oxygen and heart rate of my baby, so that while I was pacing the floors to get answers, I would be able to monitor as well. So that was the situation that was going on. And so one of the nurses was getting ready to go to lunch, and she hooked me back up. At the time, I had a PICC line in my arm because the portacath had got infected. So they took the portacath out, which was how they were giving me fluids and doing my blood transfusions and all of that. They put a PICC line in my arm, but because I had had so many PICC lines in my arm had like swelled up, and it was like the size, damn near the size of my leg. So they took the PICC line out, and then they put an interjugular vein in my neck. They don't put you to sleep for none of that. You'd be lucky to get some numbing medicine. I'm just gonna keep it 1,000 with everybody here. That's what that was. All right. So it was a lot of pain that I was having to endure just to get IV fluids and things like that. So the nurse, after she hooked me up, she came back in to give me my meds, and she tripped over my IV cord and snatched the interjugular IV out of my neck. And again, interjugular means that it's in your jugular vein. So you can only imagine how much I was bleeding. Because she was in such a hurry to get to the room down the hall from me, because I was on the floor with people who were just as acute in their situations as I was, right? So she was running. That's how she tripped, because there was an alert going off calling for her. I'm laying there bleeding out, pushing the nurse button, saying, please hurry up, I'm bleeding out, my line has been pulled out. I'm literally holding pressure on my neck, trying to stop myself from bleeding out. As soon as I started to get dizzy, I knew that my blood levels was getting super low. I could feel my baby screaming and kicking inside of me because she was fighting as well. And I said, if you go fight, I'm fighting too. So I kept applying the pressure. It took them so long to get down there. If I would have had the strength, I would have walked up to the nursing desk myself. I couldn't do it. I tried. I couldn't walk. Everything inside of me said, sit still, hold pressure, don't move, right? So I set, what I did was I set the hospital bed all the way up as high as it would go. I let my legs down as low as it would go so that I could divert some of the blood flow to my feet, and that slowed down the blood. When the nurses got in there, of course, they freaking out. Go get a towel, go get a towel. So they call in the ICU team, come up there. And it was really crazy. And to me, that was the sign for me to go home. So after they stitched me up, I only needed a couple of stitches. They stitched me up. They didn't have anywhere else to put an IV because I had literally used everything in my body, from my feet to my neck, to my chest, to my arms, to my groin. It was nothing left for them to have any type of intervention with IV. So they were trying to figure out what they could do and maybe put a portacath in my stomach, and I didn't want one in my stomach. I had a best friend who had a port in her stomach, and she's not here anymore. That's a story for another time. I literally walked with her through that whole process until her death, and watched the mistakes that was being made medically. Whole other conversation. I digress. So I was just like, no, we're not doing that. You know, and nor am I going to kill this baby. So I signed out. I signed the papers. And I called my best friend, told her to come pick me up. Because guess what? There was nobody else that could come pick me up. Talk about fucked up. Talk about feeling lonely and feeling like you ain't got nobody. That's exactly how it felt, right? So she came, she picked me up. She was like, what you gonna do? So I took pictures of everything that happened. I posted it on Facebook. And then I did do a video and posted it on YouTube, because I knew that a day was gonna come that not only was I gonna survive, but I was gonna inspire other people. Even in the middle of the chaos, I knew who I was. And I was like, this is not happening to me because I'm a victim to my reality or my circumstances. It's something inside of me that required this duality to awaken. And I was like, okay, all right, it's time to go straight in warrior mode. So I made an appointment with an acupuncturist. 102.4 fever. She taking me home. Went to see the acupuncturist, got on some formulas, told him what was going on, and here I am today. The purpose of me telling you that story is there is nothing on this planet that can happen to you that will alter who you are in your identity or your path. It may seem like it, it may appear to be, but I want you to remember something. If nothing else stuck with you, this shit is not real. None of it. It's not real. And when I say that, I mean it's a spoon and it can be bent. You feel me? Now, that did get me in a lot of trouble, because in the medical community, I'm now considered the difficult patient, right? It's cool, because it's teaching me how to heal myself. And I went from being on an IV pain pump for 5 years straight. So much pain, I could barely stand up sometimes. I'm not on one. Y'all don't see no cords hooked up to me. They didn't think that was possible. They didn't even know how to wean me down off of that much pain medication. I did that shit while I was pregnant. And for anybody that's got sickle cell, you know, having sickle cell and being pregnant is tough, right? So I became someone that I was always supposed to have been, and was always that person. It was just a process. And I just needed to go through whatever my soul contract was to experience and find solutions. So on today, this is the first time I have shared this story in totality. There are a lot of reasons I don't share this story. For anybody who may have experienced that experience in any form with me, it's not personal, it's spiritual. But I am not going to speak my truth because of how somebody else feels. Because I don't live to please other people. I do not worship. I do not beg. And I do not expect anything outside of me to prove to me that it can save me. I am my own best friend. I am my own savior. I am my own lover. I am my own everything that I need. Right? And so are you. I am merely a reflection of the spiritual anatomy and your capabilities and more. Right? So, tell y'all what we doing. I got to shift. Whew! I have not, that was some shit I said I wasn't going to talk about. Oh, y'all just doing me like this tonight. I'm a very private person, y'all, so. Woo! Because if I wanted to do some shit for clout and we can share suffering stories, it's not too many people who can top that. And I have many more. But anyway, I can laugh behind that shit now. That's liberation. Liberation of the mind, sovereignty of the spirit, our divinity, where you can laugh at the shit that once hurt you, you know. So thank you for that heart. Sending it back to you. So tomorrow night, I wanted to do it tonight because of the portal energy. However, my guides was like, nope, it's going to be best to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow night, we're going to invite anyone who wants to come for absolutely free to have a movie night with me and with Ernest. And we are going to decode the movie with you. We're going to ask you, what are you perceiving? What are you picking up on? What downloads are you getting as we're watching the movie? All right. And all of this is going to be done online. You will not have to come out of your pocket for anything but maybe $3. And that $3 is synonymous of the Trinity that I was talking about that's within you, right? And it is the sun and the moon and the energy that that creates, but it's also the mother and the father and the third being, which is represented in the story of Isis, Osiris, and Horus. Or even in the Bible with Jesus, that's where it came from, right? That story is an alchemical story. So we're going to decode the movie together. And the purpose of this is to strengthen your intuition and to strengthen your ability to use what has been a weapon of psychological warfare to tell lies, to give visions, and to program subconscious minds. We're going to take what was meant to enslave us and use it to exercise our sovereignty and be free together. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. Libate and chill basically means that this will be a spiritual ceremony as well. So you would just chill out with us. Bring your libations, libate for your ancestors if that's your thing, or if that's something you want to do, right? And we're just going to spend time together enjoying like-minded individuals who are ready to learn and grow and evolve and maybe teach other people, because some of y'all might could teach us something. I'm definitely not somebody that I ever want anybody to follow any damn where, because I'm a student of life just like everybody else. And in that humility, there's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spirit and ability to perceive the truth behind things. When you can perceive the zeros and ones that creates the programming of the 3D matrix, that's when you become truly sovereign in your spirit, mind, body, and soul. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. The link is in the bio. My assistant is so fucking amazing that she makes sure that you have instructions on how to get in the movie night with us. So if you want to do the watch party with me and chill out, we're going to be drinking and shit, smoking, doing whatever it is you do, because this is a no judgment zone. All that I ask is that you come and bring your third eye, baby, and be ready. Be ready, right? Yes, let's get lucid. Let's get lucid. So we have potions and elixirs for the third eye. We have potions and elixirs for the black dot, dark crystal, pineal gland. For those of you who already been in the tribe and you already have your orders, bring your potions, bring your elixirs, test it out. We're going to continue to do this every month. We will have a movie night, and each time you will get better and better at being able to use your third eye perception to see the spiritual significance of things that have been used to program us to believe and tell each other lies. So how does that sound? Does that sound interesting to y'all? Let me see what y'all saying in here. Oh, it's so many people here. What y'all talking about? I didn't even know. I thought it was like 5 people in here with me. True Seeker 311 became my top viewer. Love to you. You the one that sent the heart. Thank you so much. That was so sweet. Thank you for sharing your story with us. God bless you. Thank you, Chrissy. Yeah, I don't do that much because I feel like if you take the painful stories and like you get on here and share them for just the purpose of hooking people to follow you or do whatever you're doing, it's just, I don't know, to me it takes away from the spiritual integrity and the energetic integrity. So I have a million stories to tell that, and the only reason I tell them because it inspires people, but it also shows people like, you know what, my situation might be a setup for me to become the best version of myself too. That's the only reason I tell those stories. But back in the day, yeah, I grew up not feeling like I was getting the attention that I needed. And yeah, I used to tell those stories just to get attention. And you know, I mean, I'm not judging it. It was just part of my journey. But now I'm just sitting on these stories, and when it come out like that, it's because they're bringing it out. Because I did not, that was not my intention to go there. So whoever heard that and it touched you and inspired you, take that and use it You don't even have to do anything that I'm telling you to do. You don't have to go to our website. You don't have to come to the Libate and Chill movie night with us or nothing. Just take that story and just create your reality and know that everything that your heart desire, it can be yours. It absolutely can be yours because it's already yours. You just got to figure out your way through the labyrinth and find your way to being the authentic you. All right. Oh, what time? Oh, what's up? Whole South Kitchen. Ooh, you sound like you could cook some shit and make me. Anyway, I'm a foodie at heart. Oh, I love you too, babe. Oh, Ernest on here, y'all. He on here showing me some love, the love of my life. Okay, Ernest, don't make me see. I'm gonna add you and put you up on the screen. You know you be on your private shit. You gonna make me do it to you. You see how he do me? He probably downstairs. Do you see how he do me, y'all? Y'all see how he do me? Mm-hmm. Hit me with I love you too, though, baby. Let's see. Thank you for telling your story. Oh, Ashe. You're welcome. What's that? Carlin X? Yeah. So for those of you who are asking about the time and stuff, I'm really still not fully in my body yet. I will do my grounding exercise when I'm done. Go to NUVERSELive.com and make sure that you sign up so that you get the notifications that are already going out. And not only because my love language is giving, right? I love to give. But not only will you get that, but you're also gonna get a freebie just for joining with us. Like, we always give away shit. We love to give away things. We love being able to just touch people. So yes, go to NUVERSELive.com and everything that you need is there. Okay? All right, y'all. I was on here way longer than I expected to be on here, but I appreciate y'all. If this touched you, make sure that you share with other people, you know, because if we don't start sharing the stuff that touch us, then it's almost like you're hoarding the high vibrational information, right? So you want to share that. And just by doing that alone, you are able to tap into your spiritual self and your ancestors. Get y'all some chaga. If you're ready to like really get into this high vibration experience, mushrooms is one of the like most effective ways to tap into your true essence and your spirit. All right, so before we go, I'm finna do one more thing before I go, and then we're gonna go. So the freebie, don't forget about that. This is a free event. You don't have no reason to not show up. If you just tired of being around zombies, when I say that, I just want to make sure I'm not putting nobody down, but I still say what the fuck I mean and what I feel. But if you're tired of being around zombies, and when I say that, I mean people who might think you a little weird and a little out there, and they don't resonate really with anything that you're doing right now, like, that's okay. We weirdo gang. We say that because a lot of people do. They think we weird. They think it's weird. And that's okay too. So if that's the case, then be among people who are either where you're striving to go or people where you feel welcome, right? You don't want to be making yourself be around people where you feel like you have to change who you are to make them comfortable with your existence. Like, you can't do that all day, every day. That's what causes the fatigue, the chronic fatigue, the exhaustion, and all of that too. So, just spend time doing things and being around like-minded individuals. And I'm telling you, just by doing that one thing, your mind starts to shift so much, and you start to see that what used to seem like it was a problem is actually a setup for your come up, honey. Because if that shit don't break through, it's gonna break you. But if that shit don't break you, trust and believe it's a breakthrough. So, yeah, I'm done. I told y'all I could do this for 4 hours. Y'all got me on here. How long we been on here? Like 2 hours or something. See? Y'all, it was resonance. It was all love. NUVERSE. NUVERSE. VERSE live. LIVE.com. Yes, Truth Seeker. One love. I'm finna follow you. Truth Seeker. Look at this smile. Beautiful goddess. I love my sisters. Like, so pretty. So beautiful. Alright. So let's go out with some high vibe music, okay? Posted up on my suburban, skin like some bourbon, working my turban. I don't do burden, I'm the dispersion, keeping my energy clear, no swerving. As I'm emerging, feminine surgeon, Lilith and Leo, lady submerging. 901 goddess, ain't no other version. Ashe Ogun, my power emerging. When our people start connecting with the ancestral intelligence, we can rise up and we can heal for real. Real talk. Oh, this song is available on Mighty Networks as well. So if you join Mighty Networks and do this with us every month, you will be the first person to hear new music. And we got a lot of music that's on the way. High vibration music. Clear Quartz culture creators, gangsta gratitude. That's what we doing over here, raising the vibe and showing people that you got a whole motherfucking soul tribe. I might freestyle for y'all next time I get on here. Y'all be getting me hyped and shit. Be having me feeling myself. Hit that freestyle on you. She be like, wait a minute, hold up. She rap too? Like, no, baby, I'm an MC. You gonna see me tomorrow? Oh shit, somebody finna win some free gifts. Yeah, we got some other shit going on for y'all too. I'm talking about free Akashic record readings. Possible, like we doing everything that they told us we could not do together. Peace, power, and one love. You got this. Pull up tomorrow.